We will now have a short intermission. This is a perfect time to visit with your phone inside the lobby area and announce to all of your many internet friends about how wonderful
That's my podcast
is. Also in the lobby area, there will be delicious snacks available for purchase. And as always, the restrooms and drinking fountains are absolutely free.
Remember, your feet will be together. Quick, slow.
Everything in life you desire. If you want something real, something tangible, something lasting, something that's worth your while, it's gonna require effort. Ain't no magic pill or shortcut to greatness. Excellence is the one thing universally respected across all cultures in life. You gotta put the real work in order to produce the real results. Greatness can't be rushed.
Kill that reverb.
Yeah. Greatness and respect, they go hand in hand. They gotta be earned, one relentless step at a time. You want respect? You gotta work for it. You crave achievement? Be prepared to grind. It's got little to do with checking things off your to-do or I've already done list. It's deeper than that. It requires everything you do to be in perfect alignment with where you want to go, with the intended goal, the intended mark, the intended end destination in mind.
Your personality, known or unbeknownst to you, shows up in everything you do.
Yeah. Success is peace of mind. It's a direct result of self-satisfaction in knowing you made effort to become the absolute best that you were capable of. The only failure is in not trying. Fear of failure kills more ambition, more dreams, more desires than failure itself will ever kill. There's not a successful individual walking this earth who hasn't faced a setback. Every successful person has faced setbacks. A successful individual understands, however, that in order to achieve anything worthwhile, you gotta be willing to step into the arena. You gotta be willing to become a contender. You gotta be willing to put it all on the line at the behest of defeat. Failure is part of the journey of success. Every time you stumble, every time you fall, it's teaching you something valuable. It's adding to your arsenal. It's vital to embrace failure as an opportunity to grow and get better. Don't just play it safe because you're afraid to mess up. Achievements demand risks, so if you're not failing occasionally, you're not trying hard enough. The greatest risk one can risk is in not at all trying, not trying at all. Those who never make mistakes are those who never do anything. Real failure isn't about falling down. It's not about getting knocked down. It's about refusing to get back up.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
No one's coming to save you. It's all on you. Sitting around waiting for success to arrive served on a silver platter, it's futile, it's fantasy. You're the only one responsible for your success. How the f you gonna have someone else be responsible for your success?
That's real talk.
Yeah, the moment you accept that your fate is in your own hands, you start making decisions that matter. Stop waiting around for the right mentor, the perfect moment, or that quote-unquote big break. It's time you create your own opportunities. Push beyond your comfort zone. Do the things others hesitate to do. Make the decisions others hesitate to make. That's how you become great. You're the sole architect of your life. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to prove yourself to yourself. Rise up and be the hero of your story. Losers visualize the penalties of failure, while winners visualize and anticipate the rewards of success. Keep in mind, success comes at the behest of discipline. Successful people are those who choose pain now for pleasure later.
Tithing on the front end.
The only difference between success and failure is the ability to take action. Immediate action. It requires having a do it now mentality. Not that fake action, not that I'll do it later action. No, immediate action. action on the front end. Discipline is doing what needs to be done right then and there in that moment, regardless of whether you feel like it or not. In that moment that it needs to be done. It's sacrificing temporary comfort for long-term gain. That's the whole purpose behind getting up early and going running or exercising, hitting the weights. It's about hitting that same exact mark every single day.
Chopping down that tree.
Spot on. Short-term discomfort for long-term satisfaction. The sweetest pleasures are those that are earned. Those that come from days, months, and sometimes years of hard work, holding out. You gotta be willing to let that fruit ripen on its own. You gotta be willing to let that goose produce juice. Naturally. There's a thin line between force and finesse.
No need for unnecessary stress.
Stay focused, stay disciplined. Trust that your sacrificial efforts will pay off. The most valuable things in life compound over time. Every little niche, consistent, disciplined action is a deposit into your future. It's tithing, it's investing, and it continues to compound more and more over time. Daily exercise, continuous learning, fostering great relationships by continuing to nurture good relationships with good people in your life. Knowing the difference between who's really real and who really ain't in your life.
Only quality people from now on.
Yeah, disregards those that only want to have fun, not the obvious ones. It's always the punch you don't see coming that takes you out. Or in this case, that unsuspecting friend. Those who don't hold your level of standards. Those who ain't about what you about. I'm talking about those lazy, pathetic minds who front like they want real, but have a sickening affinity towards clout.
Success is not achieved, it's displayed.
Greatness is always available to those who are willing to think in a way that will allow it to manifest itself.
If you're not turning down exciting things, you're not focused enough.
The more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out.
In a world brimming with both distractions and opportunities, it's equally as important to know how to say no as it is to say yes. Real focus, true focus, requires sometimes saying no to good opportunities, passing up good opportunities to stay true to great ones. Every no to a distraction is a yes to your commitment. Focus isn't simply about being busy. It's about being strategic with your time and energy. Evaluate every opportunity, not just by what it offers now, but by what it might cost you in the future. What you might lose in order to gain that which you seek now. Stay true to your realness. Stay true to your core objectives. Don't be swayed by every diversion that comes your way. Nurture becomes nature. When people are hungry for things, then they starve for things. They become desperate for things. Desperation sometimes can be like planting a seed. Pour some water on it. Get around certain people that cultivate that desperation, that help to grow that seed nefariously, and it continues to grow. And as desperation continues to grow, standards tend to get reduced to a questionable low. Take responsibility for things in your life. It's all your fault. Whatever it was that didn't work out, the question isn't what part the other party played. It's what part you played or didn't play. What preparations you didn't implement. What boundaries you didn't set. What standards you didn't uphold for yourself. Don't expect respect if you don't respect yourself. Respect is not shiesty, feisty, or impulsive. It's poised. It's calm. It's nurturing. It's understanding. It cultivates an atmosphere of peace. It avoids even the look of drama at all costs.
Circumstances are born out of a consciousness that allows them to exist.
You need to seize control over your circumstances. Once you accept that you're the source of all outcomes in your life, you stop being a victim to your circumstances. It's time you become the architect of your destiny. Time you own up to your responsibility, acknowledging where your choices have led you, understanding that you have the power to change your course, recognizing that excuses are the shackles that bind you to mediocrity.
One day you are running after a man or a woman, and the next day you are trying to find an excuse to get rid of the same person. The same person, nothing has changed. What has happened meanwhile? You are bored with the other because the whole pleasure was in exploring the new. Now the other is no longer new. You are acquainted with their territory. You are acquainted with the body of the other, the curves of the body, the feel of the body. Now the mind is hankering for something new. The mind is always hankering for something new. That's how the mind keeps you always tethered somewhere in the future. It keeps you hoping, but it never delivers the goods. It cannot. It can only create new hopes, new desires. Just as leaves grow on the trees, desires and hopes grow in the mind. You wanted a new house and now you have it, and where is the pleasure? Just for a moment it was there, when you achieved your goal. Once you have achieved your goal, your mind is no longer interested in it. It has already started spinning new webs of desire. It has already started thinking of other bigger houses. And this is so about everything.
It's about progress, not perfection. Progress over perfection. Growth over destination. Expansion over stagnation. Losses are never losses when you deduce information from those misfortunate situations and use that information to fine-tune the expansion of your being. There's a thin line between optimism and delusion. And when optimism's not grounded in reality, delusion shouts over reality. Delusion is a devastating illusion. It's an illusion that yields devastating results. Delusion is like a bunch of helium-filled balloons. They can move in an upward direction in any direction, but if they're not grounded by something, they'll float off and never be able to be reached. Hope never abandons you. You abandon hope.
These 4 words will have to be understood, pondered over. The first is pleasure, the second, happiness, the third is joy, and the fourth is bliss. Pleasure is physical, physiological. Pleasure is the most superficial thing in life. It is titillation. It can be sexual. It can be of other senses. It can become an obsession with food, but it is rooted in the body. The body is your periphery, your circumference. It is not your center. And to live on the circumference is to live at the mercy of all kinds of things that go on happening around you. The man who seeks pleasure remains at the mercy of accidents. It is like the waves in the ocean. They are at the mercy of the winds. When strong winds come, the waves are there. When the winds disappear, the waves disappear. They don't have an independent existence. They are dependent, and anything that is dependent on something outside of itself brings bondage. Pleasure is dependent on the other. If you love a woman, if that is your pleasure, then that woman becomes your master. If you love a man, if that is your pleasure, and you feel unhappy, in despair, sad, without him, then you have created bondage for yourself. You have created a prison. You are no longer in freedom. If you are a seeker after money and power, then you will be dependent on money and power. The man who goes on accumulating money, if it is his pleasure to have more and more money, will become more and more miserable, because the more he has, the more he wants, and the more he has, the more he's afraid to lose it. It is a double-edged sword. Wanting more is the first edge of the sword. The more you demand, the more you desire, the more you feel yourself lacking something, the more hollow, empty you appear to yourself. And the other edge of the sword is that the more you have, the more you're afraid it can be taken away. It can be stolen. The bank can fail. The political situation in the country can change. The country can go communist. There are 1,001 things upon which your money depends. Your money does not make you a master. It makes you a slave. Pleasure is peripheral. Hence it is bound to depend on outer circumstances. And it is only titillation. If food is pleasure, what actually is being enjoyed? Just the taste for a moment. When the food passes across the taste buds on your tongue, you feel a sensation that you interpret as pleasure. It is your interpretation. Today it may look like pleasure, and tomorrow it may not look like pleasure. If you go on eating the same food every day, your taste buds will become unresponsive to it. Soon you will be fed up with it.
Mindfulness is about love and loving life. When you cultivate this love, it gives you clarity and compassion for life, and your actions move in correspondence.
You gotta start getting clear on what you want in life. If you don't have a vision for your life, you're gonna be helping somebody else build their vision.
This next level of life is gonna require you to let people go instead of proving your worth to them. Many of these people you're maintaining this high level of loyalty to, they don't give a damn about you.
Vision is the genesis of all greatness. You build success first in the mind. You chisel away everything that doesn't belong in your life from that vision. You walk it out. You get up every day and build what is already there. To manifest your dream fully, Your mind must be held to a standard of unwavering fidelity to the belief that that dream has already been accomplished. Your thinking must remain loyal to your outcome desired and not fall victim to the seductive mistresses of thoughts that run contrary to that dream.
It's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not. Success is peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction in knowing you made effort to become the absolute best that you're capable of. When your intentions are pure, you don't lose anyone. They lose you. Never be so thirsty for opportunity that you'll drink from every cup handed to you.
All sources aren't pure.
Greatness requires wholeness, and wholeness is to yield one's entire being to the belief that the vision desired has already been attained. Now decide what it is that you want in life, and then get a vision for that in your mind and then own it. I don't mean rent it. I don't mean lease it. I mean go to the title company, put the money down and own that dream. Then you gotta capture it down on paper. Write the vision and make it plain so he that read it can run with it. You gotta get that vision down on paper.
You become your ideal self every time you choose the action that supports your evolution. The moment you decide to make better decisions, you challenge your limiting beliefs, holding yourself to a higher standard. Stay true to yourself. It'll be worth it in the end. The hardest walk you'll ever walk will be the walk alone. Stay committed to self-development, not self-destruction. Anyone who chooses to remain in your life and walk that walk with you is meant to be in your life, because it's a lifelong journey. The road to life is narrow. It's a lifelong journey. Your comfort zone is your enemy. The more you try and stay comfortable, the more life will give you discomfort. If you won't make yourself uncomfortable, life will constantly throw things your way to discomfort you. You don't sleep your way back to peak performance.
Life requires energy.
Life doesn't allow you to experience what you haven't earned. When you push yourself into discomfort, people will begin to take notice. You'll become a peculiar individual.
Life requires sacrifice.
It requires cleaning all garbage pockets in your life.